Okay, all right, Shanta. So another session here with supervision. What's going on today?
Well, I've been seeing this client for a couple of weeks right now, and he's going through pretty much a very tough time.
Hmm.
He's had a few, well, his parents have been very absent in his life, so he's basically been in and out of like shelters in the time he was young. But one of the things that I'm having with him right now is because he has quite a few issues. He hasn't been sticking to the actual time that he's supposed to come to his sessions. And even if he does, there are times where he will be lingering on an afternoon, will just want to stop by my office abruptly, interrupt me sometimes. And while I try to be there as much as possible for him, it seems to me that I'm having a little bit of a boundary
Right.
concern right about now with him because of the time that he's coming in, because it's almost as if like and it's very hard to, it almost feels as if like I'm almost gearing up for an actual second session with him, or a full hour session.
Right.
And like I want to be there for the client because we've had to establish such a big trust before, because he has this thing of like, fear of establishing connection with others. So I really had to work through that with him in previous sessions. So
Right.
now that I'm there, I'm afraid that this is something that I want to address, but then having to not feel like I have to tiptoe around the issue, um, in order to avoid losing a client.
Right. And I understand how that can be difficult, especially working a few weeks. You establish a strong relationship. Um, did he read over carefully your consent form that was specific about actual meeting times and the length of time you be meeting? Did you guys go over it together thoroughly?
We did. One of the things that I do is to actually read the consent forms with my client. So
Hmm.
this was something that we did speak about. However, I like to also give my clients the option to contact me when they're in times of danger. In the beginning, I never really saw a big issue with him stopping by if maybe I was in the process of, getting some notes organized, or just trying to
Hmm.
organize like, or manage my client cases. That was fine. He
Right.
would drop by for about a 5 or 10 minutes, but now it's starting to increase and become very lengthy sessions. And like I said, like I have mentioned it to him before in terms of, well, you know, why don't we try to leave this for another session? But then he goes on, and then even when I do have him in group therapy, then he tends not to say much, and so he seems to. I've also make recommendations for one-on-one therapy will be, more appropriate level of care moving forward. But
Hmm.
it's again not trying to lose some of the work that we've done in
Absolutely.
previous sessions.
Absolutely. Well, what I suggest that you do, obviously, we got to think about the client's well-being and his welfare first. Um, and it's all about the way you approach him. If it's too hard, especially him being a sensitive client or possibly sensitive, he could be defensive and begin to shell up again.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what I think you should do, because of your strong relationship with him, mention to him how strong the relationship is, and basically let him know that because we have come so far, um, we need to start following the guidelines that have been set in place from our consent form that we went through in the beginning sessions. Allow him to see within himself that once you go through it again and go over it again, see how he reacts to that. And remember, it's all about how you deliver it to him, because you don't want to feel, well, you don't want him to feel like you're trying to shut him down or shut down his privileges or his accommodations now that you've kind of given him that leeway all this time. Um, Him stopping by for those 5, 10 minutes, um, he began to build that comfort level with you. So on your end, you got to kind of understand that. But to make it more where he's not crossing those boundaries, reinforce those, your rules. Go over the consent form with him again, and let him know that, listen, we have come from this point to here now, and it's important for us to continue to grow, to follow those rules, because you also have rules to follow as well.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of gauge his reaction from that, and then see where
So
it goes.
if he doesn't take it well, then what happens?
If he doesn't take it well, hmm, well, I think you should definitely just try that first. Um, definitely try that first, because he might take it well. I mean, we can't really.
We don't always know that, do we now?
No, we don't.
We don't.
We don't. But if we're concerned about how well he's going to take it versus leaving, which one would you prefer?
How well he's going to take it versus which one?
Than him shelling up or actually not wanting to be a part of the counseling process with you.
Well, I think important for because this seems to not be something that's happening within the relationship that we have right
Mm-hmm.
now, or within the context that we have right now. But even in terms of outside, he's brought up before that, um, his employees seeing him as a little bit overbearing. So I know it's something that we will definitely have to work on in upcoming sessions. But again, it's almost as if sometimes you have to. I feel like I have to tiptoe with this client or around a client, which should not have to necessarily feel like that.
Right.
But to really address the issue, not headstrong, but to challenge him in a way and to put things in the forefront for him and to eventually, like I said, I don't know what the outcome might be. I don't know how he might probably look at the situation at hand, but I will take into consideration some of your recommendations.
Okay. All right.